Everybody, my name is Galwang Peter. Welcome back to our second section as we discuss further the epithelial cells. So today we are going to look at the simple cuboidal cells. Simple cuboidal cells these are the types of cells we find in the kidney, and they are responsible in the secretion and absorption of substances. So now, simple cuboidal, they are cubed. These cells are cubed, they look like cubes, and they are usually located in the kidney tubules. So don't confuse simple cuboidal cells and the simple squamous cells with the ones we saw in the glomerulus. So these are two different types of cells. These are located in the kidney tubules, and their function is for secretion and absorption. So these cells are located in the kidney. I have here a model of the kidney. So they are located within these nephron, the nephrotubules, whereas the simple squamous we saw are found in the glomerulus apparatus for infiltration. So the processes that occur in a simple squamous are more of diffusion, whereas these are really different. These cells are found deep down in the nephrons, hence they play a role in the absorption and the secretion of materials used by the body during the formation of urine. So simple cuboidal cells are also thin layered cells which are cubed in shape. So they have a cubic shape, and they are usually a single-lined number of cells. They are non-stratified in this area. So now, since that we've seen simple cuboidal and squamous and then columnar, let us go further and discuss the stratified squamous cells. So in the previous section, we saw simple squamous cells, and we saw where I found them. They are thin layered flat cells that are found in the lungs and also in the glomerulus apparatus, and they play a role in the absorption of material in the lungs for absorption of oxygen and carbon dioxide, whereas in the kidney for absorption of food materials during the formation of urine. So in this case, we're looking at those stratified squamous cells. So the only difference between the previous simple and this type of cell is that these are more than one layer. So they are packed on top of each other. So these cells are packed on top of each other. So therefore, we can see that they have a thick layer than a thin layer we saw in the simple squamous cells. So here they are going to play a function in protection. And we are going to see this on the skin. And those simple stratified squamous cells on the skin are keratinized. That means that they have keratin in them. That helps further in the protection. And also, we find these cells in the mouth. So these cells are found in the mouth, and they are usually also found in moist areas like the mouth, areas of the vagina. So those areas are a bit thick than the ones we saw in the simple squamous, and here they play a role also for protection. So that's the reason why you are able to take a hot cup of tea or coffee, is because these cells are packed in layers, but not only a single layer, just like we saw in the squamous cells. So these cells majorly play a role in protection, and also they secrete mucus. That's why the mouth is always moist, and also the areas of the vagina are also moist. So now that we've seen the difference between the simple and the simple squamous and the stratified squamous, let us further go and discuss the stratified cuboidal. So now the stratified cuboidal still, we shall say that now that the cuboidals we saw previously, the simple cuboidals, were basically found in the kidney and therefore absorption and secretion. So in this case, it still happens that they will play that role in absorption and secretion, but they are further found down in the kidney, in the urethra and the ureter. So now here, they play more a role of non-absorption. They are becoming less and less. They are losing the function of absorbing and secretion, and they have less of that function, and now they are becoming hollows where urine passes. So their function kind of changes as in the kidney, as they slope down to form the collecting ducts, then the ureters, as we saw in the previous discussion. So lastly, we shall look at what we call the pseudo stratified cells. So we said pseudo means false stratified cells. So these cells are usually found in the upper respiratory tract, and they play a role of secretion of mucus. They have what we call the cilia. So now there's a difference between cilia and the microvilli we saw. So the cilia help in the beating of the mucus up in the upper respiratory system until the mucus reaches outside, you cough it out. So these cilia play a very important role in the beating of the mucus or preventing foreign particles from going deep into the lower part of the respiratory system. So now these cells appear stratified, meaning that if this is our baseline, we shall have some cells that will grow, and others will not have their base, they will not reach the base, but will continue on top of others, hence making them to look like they are stratified, but yet they are not. And some of them, their nucleuses, or they don't reach, their nucleuses do not reach the basement or the basal lamina, hence giving them the name pseudo, because they look like stratified, but it's not true, they are false. So, and these are mostly found in the upper respiratory tract, and they have a function of secretion of mucus, and also have cilia which help to beat the mucus upwards until it goes out of the upper respiratory system. So thank you very much for watching. See you next time as we discuss further the different types of tissues in anatomy and physiology. Thank you very much, and bye for now.